because then I have to copy a whole new code to stick it into the Instagram real quick. Because this is all through StreamYard, right? And then I have to wait for like the profile of Tori to like pop up that we're streaming so that I can forward that to P3 because P3 is a private page. It's not complicated. When I first started and I did StreamYard.
It's like NASA over here.
You what?
It's like NASA. You got wires coming in.
Just about.
Things starting.
Not yet. Oh my goodness, if my husband saw the state of the cords right now, he's usually like my IT guy, so to speak, but like, you know, he's at work. He's selling boats, which is funny. He's come full circle from wellness items to now
selling
boats. Woo.
That's a different type of wellness.
Oh, look, Nathan's already figured it out. I didn't even push us to the right spot yet. Hi, Nathan.
What's up, brother?
Oh, okay.
Eldorado's been kind to.
So now I'm copying. Ooh. Okay, so now I copy the stream key, and we should be good. But, oh wait, and now I do the one more on, and then I push this one to P3, and then we start the show. So at some point, I'll either get my stuff together or like, you know, there'll be finances again, I don't know, and I can just like get a cute little like 30-second diddly and click all the buttons. But until then, I'm literally just gonna click all the buttons and chit chat because that's like kind of what the whole thing's supposed to be anyways. Like, so by the way, if you're new, oh, Chewy, hello, thank you. I have a traumatized dog here today. This one, it's crazy that Chewy even wants to be on my lap today. He's usually obsessed with everything to do with my husband. So there's that. And if you're just tuning in, this is Tuesdays with Tori. Hi. Also, this is like a big day, not just because it's Tuesday and Chewy's in my lap and we got Scott with, look at these many titles. It's like, you know, the people you meet that are like, do you do enough? No, I really just want to keep moving. That's him. Someday we'll figure it out. Yes, someday Nathan will help me or I'm going to figure this stuff out. But for now, we just get to hang out. And, ooh, I think I'm connected to the things. We'll find out.
All right.
Because it went, whoops, something went wrong. Okay, and then you tell me. Have we? Success. Did we make it to P3? We did. Okay, see, it only takes like 30, 40 seconds. And typically there'd be like here's the introduction of the show, but I'm not that cool.
Oh, you're super cool.
We make it authentic.
You're super cool.
And super cool with my naked Chewy. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Tori. Oh, Kate's here. Hi, my gosh. Hello.
Kate. Oh, one of my faves. Let me tell you, Kate's a good drinker, fun as hell. You can't make it up.
And then smart as hell too, right?
And smart as hell.
Super smart too. She's quick as a whip. Yeah, she's quick as a whip.
Traveling through different parts, Virginia, Massachusetts, then out to Cali. I mean, God bless her. She's a warrior too. She did the expert show and she's like, Scotty, I'm leaving in the morning and I'm running off and I'm about to do a whole big it was what they call it in California. Oh my God. For the gay community. Pride. Over there,
like Long Beach Pride, maybe?
Yeah, Long Beach Pride.
They're on the store there. They do a big Pride.
She did, and she ran over from the expo show. And like from the morning, like I saw her like super late, and then the next day she ran over and did that, which is pretty amazing.
No, but you've totally earned it, Kate. You're like been running around nonstop and just kicking ass and taking names, but like also
she's so fun.
You're cool to be with. And stuff gets okay. So you totally went from Miami and then to Long Beach, like no big deal. Holy moly, girl! I mean, I appreciate your tenacity, like from a feminist. Like, yeah, you go, girlfriend. you get your
I mean,
big
it
hit,
was a
but
whole
then,
setup too. Like I saw her out, like it was
oh my God.
colors were flying. I mean, it was
But now
awesome
I'm
what
like,
she put
Kate,
together.
I can't keep up with that. Like, I'm so excited. That was a lot I'm exhausted thinking of you.
I
We
don't
have
know
to
how
catch
she
up.
did it because XBiz was busy, 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 busy. I mean, you know, first of all, when we landed, Trump decided to change it to 30%. So we're landing and we're getting all these news
I was like,
flashes.
how's the
And we're,
temperature check then when you get there, right?
like all my notes, I'm like ripping up. I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm not charging people this amount, or you know, or we're not going to be talking about this subject as much. And so it was kind of interesting flying down to the XBiz Miami show, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Sarah
Wow.
does a great job. Actually, all the shows are tremendous. You know, you get good outreach, you get to re-meet people, and you really get to see what's happening, you know, in our beautiful land of adult entertainment.
Adult entertainment. Be careful how you phrase that, sir.
Oh yeah, you might get knocked off. I forgot. You're on a lot of different
No,
shows.
hey, hi, Shuri. I love her so much. And because I love what I do. You know what? There's that secret sauce right there when, you know, you actually give a shit and you like it and maybe you can have some fun and you start a stupid podcast where people notice your color coordinated books, which by the way, I didn't actually do that, but I did teach the young spawn about how to do it when she unpacked it.
That
Kate,
is
there was something
correct.
else I needed to tell you that I was like, we got to catch up because I thought of something and I was like, oh my God, that's like a Kate thing. So we'll figure it out. But I think I have, whenever I can squiggle her back in and we catch up or whatever, I totally took because she just cracks me up. I think I took notes. And I don't know if she remembers that I was like, I'm still writing that down because it's brilliant of like the wordisms. So this could be a whole other episode because Kate, it's awesome. And yeah, she's 100% correct. It's so true. Being with y'all breathes like life into me. And that's what this show does for me, honestly. Like I know I took a little break there and the universe got kind of crazy, but it's like, honestly, I've said it before, like you guys won't let me quit now. So it's
Yeah,
like,
we
I
won't let
need
you quit.
you.
We're all missing
You
it
won't let me quit now.
because either we're working like in our stores and it gives us a little break, or we're like me going on the road visiting clientele, and then you get this nice podcast and you get to discover people in our industry or what's going on, and you talk about detailed, like important issues and sometimes fun issues, you know.
Oh, no,
So
thank you. But it's like,
it
it's
is
all
it
kind of
is
like
essential.
put it into the universe and I'm getting it back. So
Yep.
thank you for being part of that, Scott, where I'm like, okay, so now I got to keep going. And my dog is traumatized for some reason and sitting in my lap. And people show up now. So this is so fun. Okay. I got to do the quick little diddly bit because I actually need to like clip at some point what the show is about. And I never remember to do it. So, Chewy, are you ready? Don't move. All right. Hey friends and welcome. It's Tuesdays with Tori, which is supposed to be your weekly dose of pleasure, protection, and profit in this wild, wild west that is adult retail. But really this show just started with me yelling into what I like to call, you know, the void, being the internet, because people weren't talking about what I wanted to talk about. And what I wanted to talk about was nothing brilliant or new, but just I had seen some gaps and some formulas of like, hi, the way that these monster manufacturers like Church and Dwight and Reckitt are doing business, and how I've seen some of those strategies work in a smaller scale in the adult, retail industry, whatever we want to call this, sexual health and wellness retail space. And I've seen some things not work. And then I was kind of like, but also nobody's talking about condoms, and they're in every single one of these stores. And I didn't know anything about them, and I thought I knew a bunch of stuff, right? Look at all the things we're learning. So I decided to blab, and now some people show up sometimes and let me blab, like my book dragon here. Yay! And Nathan, what's up? Speaking of the road, looking forward to seeing OEJ in Dallas next week. Oh, you've got a road show. Oh goodness,
we got our boy Kevin going over there.
Oh, I have you sent me some presents. Dang it, I left it in there. I'll have to go grab it. I was like, speaking of road warriors, that was the cutest little I got a love package from Scott. It's like the little air freshener. It's like a sex warrior, but it's a pheromonal warrior. I was like, oh, that's like perfect for all the people that are like, I mean, you guys are way on the road a lot more than me. This is me attempting to be on the road, right? Because the budget is what it is right now. But I digress. Thank you all for being here. Somehow the show keeps surviving because, as I mentioned, you won't let me go now. So thank you for being my friends. while I move, and my dog is traumatized. And welcome to part of my new office. I know we moved, like everybody's like, we moved to North Carolina, and then I was like streaming from my bedroom. I have my office now. It's not done yet, but many shenanigans will be had. And so if you're sitting there kind of like, what's okay, cool. Look at this attractive Scott over here. I'll watch this because, I'll see what's going on over here. But like, why does this episode even matter? Like, cool. The lady wants to talk to the void. Why bring Scott? Because surviving this industry takes more than one revenue stream. I'm just going to say it. I'm probably wrong for a lot of businesses out there, but in my little bubble of what I'm thinking of and where I'm talking to right now, I truly think it's a strategy, and sometimes it takes more than just one revenue stream or one storytelling. And sometimes that means getting creative. And in this case, we're going to bring a little Zodiac magic into it, right? Because I don't know how this dude does it right here, but he's got 4 or 5 brands you manage now. Talk about creativity and definitely, working on trying to find that balance between which audience and which consumers you're targeting without going too nuts, right? So I'll let him introduce himself in a minute, but this is like my disclaimer here, where I'll make myself a sign at some point. But also, hi. Content warning, but trying to make it cute. By dogs. I didn't want you here anyways. Here at the Tuesday Tori show, we do talk about the business side of the sexual health and wellness industry, but that means I'm going to talk about condoms, maybe lube, some anatomy, logistics, and whatever else flies out of our mouth. This is not a monetized show, and somehow I'm still shadow banned. But if these conversations make you uncomfortable and that's something that you're not wanting to listen to today, kindly go scroll away. I wish you luck, but if you're still here, heck yes. Okay. Will you do the condom joke of the day for me, Scott? You want to do it?
Condom joke?
Did you see it on the notes? Okay, well then I'll just make you do it. Okay, so because I'm an idiot and jokes amuse me, it's seriously how I get in the mood to just write with like kind of just like poke fun at myself, and I think humor and satire is amazing. So today's condom joke of the day.
Condoms are important. Yep. So
right, and they help increase your basket size. They save lives in more than one way, and also diseases and all the things. No, they're thank you. Thank you for being on the Dumbledore army, as I've been calling it, with people that are like, there's not.
Yes, we have to be there.
Where did the divide between like safety and pleasure become mutually exclusive? They're not. Like, I don't know. There are some other neurodivergent people in the world.
Having my college son out and about. Tori was so kind, gave me some condoms. He started to going to college. He came home. He's like, Dad, what's all these condoms? I said, a friend of mine does it for a living, and she was so kind to give you some and use them.
I hope he liked
like,
that.
Oh, that's so nice. Tell Tori I said thank you and stuff.
Oh, you're so welcome. I hope he liked one of Nathan's favorite. I think I loaded you up on a lot of the black one, the Flex by one, which is the graphene. Yeah. Like, I swear,
that I won't be asking my son that part of it though and stuff. That detail, I'll leave it to him and stuff.
You can send him my email. You can send him my email later, right? Word of mouth.
I'll let you conversate on that.
Conversate. Okay, so I made a funny joke because we're going to talk about all the things you do and maybe some other smarty things, but also I like Zodiac products. It amuses me. My name, the condom charter.
Zodiac.
Yeah.
National, our friends in El Dorado. There are distributors that have been kicking butt, both of them. National was one of the first ones to take the OEJ brand, which was so kind. Lou, Lee, Eddie, I mean, they're all great. The whole staff, and obviously the owner Scott. And then El Dorado came along, and they really picked us up. So now we're more in the middle, in their section. They're really helping us, and it's just been a great fun and great people and stuff. So it's been really awesome getting the brand out.
Oh, well, now is the fun part of the game, right? Like, now you get to maintain instead of like acquire, but they're different strategies, right? You got to put on a different hat. At least I think so.
No, 100%.
Okay, but funny Zodiac joke is, what do you call condoms inspired by the horoscopes?
Condoms inspired by the horoscopes.
It's so bad. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Bad.
My daughter calls these dad jokes. So when they get really bad,
they're
she always calls.
100%. They're 100% dad jokes. Dad jokes or like puns. Just I'm a simple creature. I still find them funny, especially if
All right,
language.
I give up. I got to hear this Zodiac. We might be using this for our brand too, so we might be stealing this when we're out on the road.
Do it. You can. Okay, it's okay. Right, for anybody that's just jumping in, right? Because it's so bad. What do you call condoms inspired by horoscopes? Right, like if you're going to go make a horoscope.
Okay.
Safe signs of the times.
Oh, safe signs. That is brilliant.
So bad. Okay.
That is so awesome, though. But it's definitely a dad joke. It definitely fits in that category. I have to use it for my 2 older kids, though. It's too young, tough for my daughter. Still 12.
Yeah, well, I guess you could insert whatever other brand into the joke if need be, but it's real bad as long as it goes around horoscopes, which is awesome. We've had Frank Lawrence came on a few weeks ago talking about his Vibrating Tarot deck, which is like a bit in this whole sort of mystical, magical trend that I'm starting to see. I mean, it's something that I find amusing anyways, but it's interesting that also you guys have found a section in horoscopes and whatever else. It makes sense in that genre here in adult and sexual wellness. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, the idea was to add some colors, coming out of COVID, and to do something that's a little bit fun, get more back to spiritual. I can't even speak at this point. Spirituality. There we go. So that was a concept behind it, and it's done really well. It's a fun little. Some people use it for a gift, like for their wife or their husband or their fiance or. So it's done really well in the marketplace. We outsold the first run, which is always great, but then it gets scary. Can we get it back in time with the ships coming in? So, and actually we did. So thank God we beat the tariffs and all that stuff. So everything has been a plus. So we do have it in there, and things are moving forward.
Good job. He's plugging where to buy, right? Well, the powers are all happy. He's got stock. He's got partnerships. He's ready to go. Okay, so do you think it's part of this big retail trend that we're going to see more mystery and astrology and fantasy coming into retail shops?
I think trying to get different items or different discoveries, trying to do different concepts, I think will help. I mean, obviously, I just did XBiz and people are like, what do you have new and different? You know what I mean? And so that really helps push the marketplace. And it's hard, right? Because there's a million roses out there. There's a million different vibrators. There's a million different lingerie, teddies, so to rediscover something or to add a little extra to it, I think that's helps bring brands and stores and online sales. It makes people relook at things. And even just a different color can make a change. So just even adding a simple thing like that, adding a certain color to uplift an item as well.
Right. If marketing is emotional, then of course selling needs to be emotional, because if you're not selling and marketing the same story or emotion or experience, then your customer is going to realize there's a gap, and then that's just not going to work. At least it's not work for me.
It's even why there's colored condoms or condoms that glow in the dark, or, just to add a little flavor to it, or condoms that taste good, so same concept.
Right. We've got stores full of things that are different and interesting. Like, why not your safety? Hi, Brandy. Oh, goodness. Everybody's jumping on. This is exciting because this is like, this maybe the second or third time I've done it at the, 2:00 for the West Coasters, but like, I gotta be an East Coaster now. Look at this. Bam. The East Coast.
You're at my time.
I know. It's like the East Coast is here. What up, guys?
But I like the West Coast people because we work at night, so for me, I'm a night person, nocturnal. So used to be an ex-musician, so it works perfect for me. So like when we do our
you were an ex-musician? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm not a good one, but I tried. You know, like I have the long hair. You know,
I didn't say define it. I just said,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, right. You just gotta have
Our,
something.
our owner for Fantasy, Scott, he was a drummer. He was a drummer. So a lot of people, some guys from National, guitar players.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know one of those guys at Nashville.
Yeah. He's really
Yeah,
good
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That rock and
There's
roll Joe guy,
there's a
right,
bunch.
man?
There's a bunch. Um, it kind of fits though the mold and stuff. Like you want to entertain. The one thing I love about our industry and music is like no matter what race, color, who you are, you're part of it, right? Like it doesn't matter, you know, sexuality, music, those type of things. You know, bring people together. You know, that like I like when our industry is together. I get there's politics and I get there's like this whole tariff thing kind of made people go a little both directions. And I just think everyone has their own way of trying to handle different things. And sometimes it might not agree, but you have to also be open. Like our community is a togetherness community. My father went, who I had stores on what I called the Deuce, 42nd Street, one of the first stores in the industry. It was called G&A. They got arrested. He was telling me a story that I didn't even know, that the first time he ever was arrested, this was a couple of times, he was just selling
Just a couple.
a picture of a naked girl, and it was not even anything crazy. And actually, that was a case that actually they threw it out pretty quickly and stuff. But he still had to go through the whole thing. But he used to tell me like that, like for me to pay for lawyers, for they keep it open, everyone's giving money for our food on the table, so everyone's included into our family. So I don't care what creed, color you are, if you're an alien, if you're putting food on your table, everyone's included. And that's how I was raised. And that's how the industry, for the most part, is that way. We're included. We try to help each other out. When someone loses a job, we feel sad. When someone gets a raise or moves on and moves up the ladder, we're happy. You know, and that's why it's a beautiful industry and stuff. That's why
Oh no, go ahead. I was going to say,
that's what I was saying.
I think I was telling you today, I wasn't trying to get in this industry, and then it just never let me go. Right, my husband was the one that dragged me into it.
Yeah, and now you've kept the flag going. So you know, and I just want to take a minute. Just everyone should be proud, like of lasting and what you're doing. You're making a difference. I mean, just take a moment. No, like for real. Like each person in their own way. I don't care if you're whatever you're doing. You're all making differences, and you should take a moment. And like maybe the financial part is not the way it was or the way you want it to be and stuff, but it's good to get there. Hold on. But you are making a difference. You're making a relationship better. My middle son ended up being gay. So like, where's the resources for him? Like, I live in Long Island. It's very stuffy here stuff. He would have to run to the city to really express who he was. So there needs to be places where people can talk and conversate and understand. And if I have a foot fetish or if I'm, you know, feeling different, you know, it should be inspired and not, you know, ripped on or, you know, what some of our society does.
Right. I feel like if you can talk about intimacy, it should be rather easy to step into business, right? Like there are some hard conversations that come in business, but also, I don't know, if you can't sit down at the table and have a legit business conversation or product development conversation about your next nipple titillator or whatever other word is going to come out of your mouth, then, you know, it's going to get sniffed out, right? This industry is going to, what some people struggle with, and maybe 10 years ago, I probably struggled with this as well. I know I did. It's almost like I've been in other businesses where you kind of have to just keep this like dress code, almost facade, and everything needs to run through like branding, and you feel very not as connected to your customers or your business or your other vendors or peers, right? But what's amazing, and maybe for some people not so amazing, that I found about this industry is just as long as you're like real and you're accountable and you're authentic, right? I don't have a 30-second intro yet. Watch me click the buttons. People seem to, you know, embrace you then and there's space, right? Otherwise, I you know, because I've worked for other businesses where you're definitely supposed to bring, it's more performative, right? You're supposed to bring a just almost different version of you. the people that at least I've connected with, that I've seen be the most successful and make the most change in the industry, or that I've been following in the last, 10, 15 years, have been the authentic people that just kept putting themselves out there, right? And they didn't stop. So I just kind of, again, like we were mentioning, I'm kind of taking that same tactic, and like I'm trying to put that back into the universe. I was like, okay, fine. If people are going to come and talk and want to share their experience and their brain and not gatekeep part of my Dumbledore army, then let's do this, right? It's not even about. And I think that's what I've also heard about this industry. So many people just, hey, I showed up here. What, like Kate? Poof, she inherited the stores, right? And I know that's like a story a lot of people have seen. But not everybody was planning to be here. So some of us are learning business as we go, and that's great because you can get a better perspective. Now, babies, were you feeling a little left out?
Yeah, she's like, Dad, you're in this office. I gotta protect you, from the people from outside.
Aww.
Someone's knocking on the door, so she was being a good girl.
The babies. Oh, wait, does she want to talk about, a little bit more of the current climate in adult retail and what we think's working and what's definitely shifting? You got a perspective, baby?
Yep, she's got her perspective and stuff. She's so good. This dog, I'll come home 3 o'clock in the morning. She's like, Dad, how's your day? What's going on? Did you make any sales? Did you meet some good people and stuff? So it's always good to have.
I love that you have a dog voice for your dogs.
I do. It's really bad. My daughter goes, oh my God, Dad, what's wrong with you and stuff?
Nothing. What's wrong with you if you don't have a voice for your dog?
She likes it though. She likes it.
Oh my goodness. For the good people here, right? If you just got here, because I messed up everybody's times. We got Scott. Because there was a quick interlude there. We had the dog. He's a good booth buddy to have when I run out of pins. He's the sales manager of everything. Look at all the titles there, right? It's Fantasy Lingerie, our Erotic Journey, all the Zodiac stuff, GWorld. Like, how do you do it all? And how do you end up, you have more than one, chief that you have to report to. How do you make it make sense? How do you make the ROI make sense when they want to talk about it?
Well, I mean, most of the brands, I try to do something that's a little bit different. You don't want to do the same brand. Like novelties, I'm done. Like our Erotic Journey is the only novelty. Lingerie, there's so many, like Mapale they have swimwear and different items. Fantasy Lingerie, we're known for the glow line or the sheer line. GWorld has all their products are included. Like, so if you get like an outfit, where's my GWorld, everything comes in there. Entire brand, like, so you're getting stockings, you're getting everything in the package. So yeah, so you want to make sure that when you're doing different brands that, if you're working for different companies, you're actually doing 2 different ones, because then what do you sell to your clients, right? You don't want to have where it's a difficulty. You want to have where they're enhancing each other. So when you're going on the road, there's something different and they're seeing something inspiring. So I always try to make sure, that's how I got it into OEJ. A friend of mine, Tony and Megan, who's not changed over. Both of them are running their own companies now, which is awesome.
Wow,
and stuff.
Congrats.
So, and I appreciate you, Megan and Tony, as well. So I got invited to OEJ from them. And then the owners, Bruce and James, were so kind. They liked my knowledge and the history, and they were new to the industry. When I started 3 years ago, I think the company is 4 years old, so they really wanted to do different products. We did this product, which was kind of cool, was a sexy pot. I thought that was interesting. We won the old word for that. Just trying to do something different. So like when I would see a client, and I started doing novelties because I didn't do it for years. I mean, I had my own stores, obviously, and then I worked for a distributor. So obviously you kind of sold everything. Originally I told Tony, I'm like, I'm not doing novelties. And then he goes, just take a look at some of the items. And then they were doing different products, and I like the concept and just trying to be innovative and different. You want to be, like for Fantasy Lingerie, we went from curve, that was our big line. Then we picked up on glow, and we did glow in the dark lingerie, and now everyone copies it. but it was something new and unique. So you want to go to different brands that are trying to do something different in the industry as well.
Okay. Do you think like being able to sell across multiple brands and maybe different audience, has that helped you and the company stay like kind of on your toes and stable and strategic?
Yes, I think 100%. I think having different products and also being able to show different items. Sometimes someone was like, "Well, I'm not ready to see that," and then so you're going there for one brand, and they'll trying to look at the other stuff because you have it there. I'm like, "Look, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I know you don't want to see these items, but I'm still here. I drove in 17 hours or wherever we were doing." And so just take a look. And then sometimes it'll inspire a sale, or sometimes they might not buy it right now, but they'll buy it in 3 months because then they have the budget for it, or the mindset change. Some people have, I go to stores and they do the same products over and over again. And I think that, like, to people now, I think you got to change. So I never did social media. My son came from college.
And now look who's on a web stream. He doesn't do social media.
Yep, and now we're on social media. My oldest son,
right?
Yep, my oldest son Ty was just like, he's like, "Dad, can I come over here for a minute?" And then because he was studying sports business, and he was like, "You're an idiot," and I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "You don't believe in social media," and he goes, "Every professor is telling me you have to be into this." And it is part of branding. You might not like it, but you have to have someone on your team that does. I think it's really important marketing now. And I know you're like, "Oh, it's a waste of time. I do it all the time," but it does it seeps into customers. It will work out eventually. It will help you build your brand. You're advertising.
It's almost
your stores.
You don't have any legitimacy if you don't have something online now,
yes.
Right? People almost will be like, "You're not even a company, are you? Like what?"
It's like the web, right? Originally, so if you didn't have a website for your company, right, it would look weird, right? So that's the same concept. And look, I did not believe in it at all. I was not into that whatsoever. I was very against social media. Just because I had kids, and I just think sometimes I didn't like the part of it where you could say something and the person could hide and not answer back. And that was a part that I didn't like about it. So I was not a big fan of it because
learning that most people are not respectful and don't care about accountability. It's very depressing.
It is depressing, and it's hurtful, and you do hear stories, unfortunately, that do go awry, so that's the part that I was fearful of it. But then I think you have to have the good people that are going to do the right things. Then you have to kind of move into that direction and kind of take it, like, so there's not that negative energy that's there, and also call it out when it does happen.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I talk to Cherie about this all the time. I'm like, what happened to, maybe I'm just like medieval Victorian Renaissance person or whatever, as insert time in my head where I'm like, what happened when you just go to the salon, you just like sat down and you were allowed to have like a spirited conversation without, I'm not trying to get super political, but it seems to be a lot of like duress, not just in business, but in politics and finance and religion and all the things you're not supposed to talk about. But there was a space where you could openly bring up the questions you would have about the things you're not supposed to talk about. And it was almost like a safe space, so to speak, where you could learn. Now it's almost written into the game of power. Yes, the chess piece of business and relationships, where it's like, yes, social media is ruling you all, but we also need to look like we don't care and be transparent at the same part. It's exhausting.
Yes, it is harder to navigate through all that and stuff. Even on the side, I help our soccer team, and I'm the admin, and just hear different walks.
Oh yeah, because you're not busy enough. Okay, super dad, soccer dad. Put that to the title right there. Okay, noted. Producer Nathan, who is not my producer, add that to his title. Thank you.
I got one last kid to connect you with your kids. I think that's like why you work why I'm working so much is for them. And if you're by yourself, you could work for yourself and stuff. But when you have kids, you kind of want them to grow and inspire. My father was a great guy. He would hire every race, creed, color person possible. And I think that's what the world is about. especially live in a country where you could express, even if you don't like the president, you could actually say, I don't like the person. Or if you love the president, you could say you love him. It should be whatever people want to say, to the point where you're not hurting someone.
Yes. Well, and then the whole concept I've been trying to at least brainwash myself back into, at some point, you're not going to be able to control anyone's thoughts or feelings. And I've had plenty of negative thoughts about people that I truly love. It's right. There's a reason we're not allowed into that very intricate part of people's mind. It would drive us all nuts trying to appease to every single thought that ever came up into anybody's head. So, right, do listen to what your customers want, but just know that sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do about you.
Right.
So I tell my
and also you have to separate. Sometimes you cannot have that political discussion with some of your customers, because first of all, you want them to feel good, and we're selling like health and wellness brands and different things that inspire or help relationships.
There's the word inspire. Like how many people, like I know so many people on the store floors are like, I changed someone's life today. I know I did. Right. But that's something that's hard to quantify in a constant ROI fashion. Right. But that person that had their best experience and whatever else, but they didn't know, like you changed their life. But because 100%. We value the numbers and what that equates to. Yay, capitalistic society. Not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying this is what we've dealt with. How do we make it all make sense?
100%. And the one good thing that I love about our industry is that there's so much diversity in a sense of what products that are available, of what details or knowledge that we can give each other. And I've been in the industry forever and a day, and there's always a moment where
you were kind of born into the industry almost.
Yeah, I guess in one sense I mean, my father didn't tell us anything until I was like 18. He was like, guess what? I have a little story to tell you. And then I was like, oh, interesting and stuff.
Mom sells, health and wellness and consumer packaged goods.
Yep. My kids know for the most part, what I've done when I grew up. My one son used to he liked the reaction. My oldest son was funny. He would tell people, guess what my daddy does? And so he was like, kind of like one of those defiant kids and stuff. And I said, in one sense, it's kind of getting a message out there, like in a weird way, even though you're joking about it. But there is something out there. You want people to get to where they're feeling sexually healthy. So I was like, in one sense, you're doing it like in a good way, because some people won't want to hear about it. Maybe religion will stop them, or maybe they're nervous and they don't know, or maybe they're not in touch with
whatever bias, right? That narrative that you pick up, whether you meant to or needed to or not. I recently read something, and like I kind of knew this from back when my children were infant, that like 0 to 2 is just really, really pivotal in the building blocks of the mind, right? Supposedly everything that we already start to like that some of those bias and those narratives of society start when you can't even remember them from 0 to 2. This is not like anybody's doing anything wrong here. This is just how our brains are, and it already happened when you literally couldn't control it. So it's okay. It's the great thing about being humans. We're the only animals, right? Because we are still animals that can shift our mindset. But it's not easy to do. Nobody's like talking about it. It's the same with like sexual health and wellness, right? It's like no one's talking about that certain lubes and condoms do not mesh together, or that there's even different sizes, right? So of course people go out and have bad experiences and all the things that we've heard, but it still keeps happening. It happens over and over and over again.
And that is the difficult part, because right. So if you have the wrong information, right, that like kind of ruins like maybe a brand or a product or something that would work, right? Because you did pick the wrong lube and you did pick the wrong condom, like you were just saying and stuff. So and the education part of it is a good part of it. I think I know some people don't like the education part of it, but I think you have to have some of that in there to make it go, hey, this is why we need these, whether it's online, stores, why we need to exist in certain areas. And what's scary is I'm seeing a backlash. My father was talking to, like, my dad's 87. I was talking to him, you know, was excited I was going to be on the show.
Love you, Dad. Oh, he told your dad you were coming to my show. You're crying.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I tell him about the
stop.
industry.
It made me so nervous. Wow. Thanks. Oh, hey, Dad.
And so we're just talking about like how important, like, and he lives in Florida, so he's like seeing legislation that's coming in Texas, and he's like, it's kind of crazy, like how it's more out of it, right? So there's stuff at CVS and there's stuff at like Walgreens, and then it's going backwards a little bit in some areas and stuff. And some people it might work for, you know, because sometimes when it is a dirty little secret and stuff, it does inspire sales because you can't get it anywhere else. But sometimes also goes the other way, where if it's not available, you know, people can't get the condom that they need or express, or they don't understand
so
sexuality.
They give up on it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a cycle. And we're in it. I can't wait to see where the industry goes in the next 10 years. I don't know about you, but any category you think you've seen that's gotten the biggest surprise, like growth for you, that you've seen this year? And then I'm going to get into the rapid.
I think having the right pricing, I think people are looking for now, because with the tariffs and everything, I think people like having the right items that are priced right, you know, for the most part. You know, I think that's the biggest concern, like just listening to people from the last couple of shows. And like I always say, is people are always looking for something that's different, you know, that works well, that's, you know, good quality, you know, that's going to last a while. Like OEJ, we have 5-year warranty on everything and stuff. That was another reason, like, I like the brand, that it's kind of like back. So like, hey, if we mess up, we're going to really mess up, because we're going to have to buy 9,000 of these. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you're making something, to make sure it's going to actually work.
Yeah, right. I've not met, and thankfully I've not worked for many companies that didn't stand behind their products. So, red flag, right? Where's the red flag guy? If your company doesn't stand behind
I mean, and being in the industry as long as me, you do see companies that have folded because of that reason. You know, you do see.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a strategy. Are they still here?
Yep.
Okay, are you ready? This is the rapid fire, because it amuses me, and this is where people can get to know you. And then I feel like in some massive scheme, right? It's like the ripple effect. If one person on the socials, right? Because this is how the world works now. If they felt like they kind of know you, you're just a bit more approachable when they walk up to a booth. You never know, right? You never know. So you don't have to think too hard about these things. They're supposed to be fun. Okay, so what's your zodiac sign, and do you think it matches your current hustler energy?
Yeah, do I have my zodiac sign over here? Nope. I give it away. I'm a Gemini, so I'm definitely a twin. Yep. You know, and at this point, my wife doesn't talk to me that much, being on the road all the time. So she's like, "Where's your twin? Where's the other one?" So zodiac sign.
It's more of a mindset. Okay, I don't actually get a whole other twin. But right, at least from what I am
kind of diverse, though. I'll say that much. I do have definitely different personalities and stuff. I could listen to classical music. I could listen to metal. I could listen to hard rock. I could rap. And then I could read books. I could, you know, like I like different things. Do I have time for a lot of stuff at this point? No, not as much.
That is what sucks. Is like when there's so many things you want to do, and then you're like, you must recharge. Yeah, you probably have some other. We got to get someone to do your moon and your sun, your ascending signs, right? There's probably some fire sign in there. I'm feeling. Okay, so if each brand, right, all 4 or 5 of your brands here were a zodiac sign, which ones do you think they would be?
Oh, that's a good one. Fantasy Lingerie. I would say, oh my God, because if you pick something wrong, they're gonna be like, "Why'd you pick this for me?" and stuff. This is a hard one.
Well, I mean, here I'll help. Like, I would think Fantasy Lingerie is total Leo. Like, pick me, right? Very, very beautiful, outstanding.
Okay,
hit
we'll go
me,
with
but you have to
Leo
earn it kind of stuff, right? Right.
I mean,
Who's your disruptor?
OEJ made the thing, so they have to be the whole Zodiac, right? Like they have to be
Okay, there
all
you go.
encompassed. You know,
There
and
you go.
there's
They're
many
the ether.
personalities. I have James, we have Bruce, Kevin, Jerry, you know, Kristen, you know, so there's all of us, you know, we're all, you know, Zodiac and stuff. So GWorld, I'd say Pisces. They're like a tough little fish to keep on going and stuff. They have great product, you know. So I'm going with that.
All right,
Mapale,
all right, I'll take it.
Mapale, I'm brand new to and stuff. So we just signed a contract, like literally, like I was busy the last couple of days learning the brand. You know, so it's kind of like a reborn. What's a reborn Zodiac, would you say?
Oh, them Scorpios, right? They're
Scorpio.
all about destruction and coming back, right? Anybody owned by Pluto, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Like that could come back.
Okay. Yep.
Because you were doing all the crazy travel and you still keep doing all the crazy travel. So what is your trade show or travel like survival snack of choice?
Snack of choice.
For,
I always believe you have to have a protein bar. I think you have to have a protein bar in your bag. That it will get you through whatever and stuff. And I'll do any brand that I like can get. And I'm usually like, when you go to the airport, you're like, oh, I need a couple of these and stuff, which is the worst place to buy it because now you're spending $9,000 at the airport. But then I'm like, if I don't do this, when I am a little bit frugal, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I really should have grabbed that protein bar because right now I'm in the middle of talking to like 12 different clients. You know, XBiz, they kind of give you like a whole bunch of package like stuff with you and stuff when you're at your room, so they kind of help you out. They give you vitamin C's and stuff, so they do a good job of that. So I didn't have to do it.
So nice.
So thank you, Sarah.
Okay. Well, there you go. But that was also a good lesson in. I think we were talking about it earlier, right? Like you can leverage your location in a retail shop or e-tail shop, right? Yep. To price accordingly. I will always spend $3 extra on my Starbucks at the airport. I know I will, and it will continue to happen because I am there at the airport and I need the coffee. Yep. Or Dungeness crab.
Yes. And also, you have to kind of do that for yourself, right? Like sometimes you need to, like, you know, like and like our industry is tough, right? Just so like I always say, our industry has the most amount of rejection as possible. And like I'm saying in this modern era and stuff, I'm saying if you're a store, you're sitting around hours and you're like, oh my God, the person had $300 line up. Now the card didn't go through or they're not here and stuff. And you're like, just got rejected again. You mean like, and you have to get yourself plumbed up. So I say you have to reward yourself at least once a day. Like whether it's that coffee, whether it's a snack, whatever, reading your book, you know, hanging out with your dog, going for a walk, you know, whatever that is, working out, you know, whatever you need to reinvigorate yourself. Because right now, and you could be the best that you are. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's the marketplace right now. You'll rediscover. Things will come back around again, which it has. I've gone through 9/11 in New York, which there was no business. People thought another plane was going to happen at any time. No one was caring about our industry. Literally, people were like, I just want to get from A to B. I don't care about anything else. I think something else is going to happen because we're watching smoke just blast away and stuff. I lived on 106th Street, and you could see it all the way from there. And I'm like, wow, what is going on down there and stuff? My store was on 46th Street and 8th Avenue and 33rd between Broadway and 5th. So you could see that. And then it'll go through a change again. And then we'll get back. We had the crash, the market crash. I mean, obviously COVID, where some people made a whole bunch of money. And then in our region, in the Northeast region, you had to close down. So you made nothing. We're down south, we're crushing it. California, you know, you're all closed. So and the industry kind of like fixed itself again. And then you have to rediscover. So there'll be a time. It's just you have to keep on like plugging away. Stay positive, keep the energy up. And then that customer who walked out the door might come back in and stuff, you know, and then they also realize we were talking about earlier today when we first had our conversation about customer service and really trying to be to get into that detail part That's really important, is to really reach out to people, see what they're going through, understand what they're going through, and try to inspire sales through listening to. Maybe they only have a budget for a $20 piece of lingerie, or maybe they, you know what I mean? And next time they'll buy a $100 piece, you know what I mean? So like, and my dad always says every dollar counts. Like $1 means a lot. So don't think it doesn't matter and stuff. It all adds up together.
Right. Getting those liquids and other, novelties, condoms, whatever else that experience helps not just service your customer better, but it also makes sure that there's a reason for them to come back too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
The toys typically last a lot longer than using some of the commodity items. Okay.
And also you could reintroduce them to like a new toy, or, like someone might never have tried a corset for lingerie, and they might, that felt differently. That was kind of like, a different mindset. I was wearing body stockings, you know what I mean? Or whatever they were into before. So trying to inspire a person, and then they can get into a whole different category. It's like when you were a kid and you were like, oh my God, what's this jazz fusion? Or what's this, disco music that was around in or whatever. And you kind of get into that genre.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a great segue. I love it. It was like a question, and then we like brought it back more like good tips. It was good. Okay. Maybe funniest trade show, training, or booth moment that you want to share.
Oh, I was at one, I don't want to say the brand I was at, but our booth was collapsing. Like, so we had where the table collapsed from the organization. We had where our stands were collapsing. I don't want to say which, because people might be able to figure out and stuff that.
Nothing offending. This was like, this is where it's like, it
became funny. But I'm just saying and stuff. It's just like nothing worked. We took out like a tool. The tool broke. I mean, it was like one of those shows where like, is like something happening? Is there a camera coming around and stuff?
And that was
about a decade ago and stuff. So
hey, but like, it's funny to you now, which is good. You're like, oh my God.
No, you could. But you know the pressure of it. Tori, you've done shows. You know the pressure of it because the owner is not going to be happy. So you're like, it's like comical because like all the employees are kind of laughing, but once the owner hears about this, that there's going to be some hell. You know what I mean? So that part was the scary part. And I mean, I owned places before and stuff, so I always kind of like, hey, things happen. You got to kind of look, and try to like have them understand, like, things do happen. And like, there was a show that people didn't get their product, like it just never came. And I've been at expos where that happens. It's why I brought my luggage with me with all my stuff in it, because we were so paranoid that might happen. Like if you ship it to the hotel, that hey, if you bring the luggage,
they can't ever find it.
And it's fun to go through the X-ray machine and see what they're looking at and stuff. So I'll tell you a story. When I went through the X-ray, so I got back into novelties. I told you 3 years ago, and I wasn't used to this because I'm selling lingerie. So a guy has a bunch of lingerie. Who cares? But the knowledge. So they opened my bag and it's filled to the rim. I mean, there's just so much. Like it's bulging out. And they're going through it, and I just started handing out cards. I literally just started handing out cards. I was like, "Here's our website." You know what I mean? Because what else can you do? People are looking.
Yeah, you're gonna tell the story anyways. Here you go.
I just started dealing out cards and stuff. So that's another.
Blanca's chiming in here. She always hand carry samples. I think there's a lot of us that are always hand carrying something because we've been traumatized by something like that, right?
But then there's like OEJ did like a huge booth, like an AVN, and there's no way you could have all this stuff, and then you're just like praying to God that all of it works and stuff, especially the money that gets put into some of these shows as well.
Oh, seriously, right? And Blanca, yep, on the money here. You work the angle. You can't control a lot of the timing and the things that are happening, but you can control like the impression you leave, right? So it's always staying top of mind, right? It's not. One of my old sayings is like, it's not who I know, it's who knows how to get to me, honestly, right? Like if you're approachable and people know how to contact you and you're easy to talk with, it's just the rest seems to lay out, right? Not saying that it's
Right.
always easy to do, but it seems to be easier to attract people than chase. Just
Right.
saying.
That's true too. But then there's parts of our part that we have to do a little bit of chasing and stuff,
Oh yeah, earn it,
Earn it.
but
Yes,
don't be desperate. Don't be desperate,
yes,
because
100%.
I'm a
Yes.
Libra, so therefore I'm here to tell you if you earned it or not. The fairness police. Okay. Okay, last question, and then we got to do the wrap ups because now I've
Okay.
got all the dogs in my lap because I think they want to go. Oh, you
I know
too.
my poor dog. She started eating her bone. I'm like, I gotta take it away. I'm like, baby, you gotta wait like 20 more minutes. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up for the doggies. Okay, what would be your dream like collab with either a brand, a person, a celebrity, a product? I don't know. Pick a technology. What would be your dream?
A dream product in our industry or in our industry?
Yeah, our industry. Or if you had just a different dream, like you don't have to think too hard of it. Just share something about us and
Well, I
I
mean,
love you, believe us. We attract.
my favorite guitar player is Jimi Hendrix. So if I could
Okay.
be old enough
Collab
to see
with him.
collab with him and stuff like that, with his imagination making a toy, I would like where his brain was at that time, inspiring music and stuff. I would like to figure out what his brain, because I would think the colorations of his sounds. Everyone's copied everyone. No one's copied Jimi Hendrix. So I think
whatever creativity, whatever branding came out of that
he was in touch with, I don't think I want to do the drugs that he was doing because I want to stay alive. But the other part,
yes, creative, but less
the creative
drugs.
part.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
And no drugs. We're good with that.
Yep.
No, that is legit. I haven't thought of a Jimi Hendrix branded any inspired company. That's inspiring. Ooh, okay, McQueen.
And no one's inspired in his music. No one's ever copied the guy in stuff. Everyone has emulated like Led Zeppelin, or the Eagles, or Elton John, or there's always someone else doing that. Madonna. There's people that kind of sound like her and stuff, but there's no one that has ever copied that guy and stuff.
Okay. All right. Final question. What advice would you give any reps or retailers trying to balance any sort of diverse product lines and just make sure they still stay profitable in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first you gotta write out your budget, and it is what it is. If it's $10,000 or it's $500, you gotta write out your budget. Really try to have and definitely diversify. You want that person that's walking into your retail stores or online to have something a little different. Like that's going to bring them back. And if they see something different, guess what? They're like, wow, I didn't see that anywhere else. I see it in this place. Maybe they have something else different. You know what I mean? So definitely marketing something that's different. And it could be anything. Like you were showing me all the different condoms that I had no idea, and like just like how the change and the colors like they use, and like it just so
these
much
rubber people have politics all on their own. It's fascinating.
Yeah. So it's just, even if I say from your lube all the way across the board, though, you want to go like each section at least have a couple items and stuff. And I know they're like, well, I'm not going to sell this like 1,000 times, but the idea is to the senses is what you want. You want to hit the 5 senses, sight, smell, hear, you know what I mean? Like those 5 senses is what sales are about. And if you have those couple items, they inspire people to come back and then you could talk to them. And also you want to definitely ask them, why did you pick this item and stuff? Does this inspire you? And that might give you other ideas for you to sell other items to them as well.
Right. Like you can't get to whatever other creative thing you might spit out, and you need creativity in businesses. It's not just me talking about like, design, right? You need to be able to think out of the box, but you can't spit out the next creative thought if you don't get the first one out, right? The river can't flow if you don't open the dam, so to speak.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Look at that. We're smarties today. Okay. Thank you for coming. Yay, clapping.
Thank
We're-
you
we're-
for
we're
having
gonna-
me, the legendary Tori. I'm
stop.
so honored.
No
I really think
legends.
your show makes a difference. I really think you inspire people. Like you make us laugh. You know, all those different details that we could pick up on. Sometimes you know it, and then sometimes you're not reacting and doing it. Sometimes what happens is you're like, you go into your everyday stuff because people are multitasking, right? You don't have as many employees. So now you're doing 7 different things. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I got to come in on a Saturday and like really like fix this place up. I keep on doing the normal things, and your details, you know, like to us, you go back and you oh, I didn't think about that. Or I'm not doing this anymore that I used to do this. Or you might be down a little bit and I needed a lift up, and you give us that little
Well,
extra
you guys
boost.
you do the same for me, so I appreciate like everybody letting me drag you in, and Nathan being one of them. Thank you, sure. Where can people find you or book appointments and see your brands and stuff in action, right? Like how do we get to the Scott? If okay, hey, I'm inspired, I want to talk more.
Well, I'm on the quickest way is I'm on Facebook, right? So I'm always posting all the time. Each one I have my own email, like Scott Lipkin at Fantasy Lingerie. Then Eve Apple, even though it's our Erotic Journey, I'm still under Scott at Eve Apple. It's a corporation name underneath that umbrella.
What email do I send things to, Scott? I have no idea. We just end up Facebook.
I'll put it at the end of the message and stuff like that. That's the easiest way.
Perfect.
So,
Yes. Okay. And obviously, if you need help, he's here on Facebook, and you can message me, and I will forward it to the powers that be. So that's it. We got a wrap. Thank you, Scott. You bring in the hustle and the fun stories, and you know, whether you're slinging lingerie, right?
Thank you
And
so
you're
much
leveling
for
up your
hosting as
merchandise,
always,
okay?
doing what you do.
Oh my goodness, look at this one. This is my little old
Bye,
man.
everybody. Happy selling, everybody.
Yes, get out
Peace
there,
and
sell.
love.
If you didn't catch the East Coast feed, the West Coast feed, just kidding. I mean, I'll repost it later if people need it. It's next, right? You can catch the replay either on Instagram, the P3, and YouTube eventually, right? You just have to click the live tab because, again, we're working on that. Next week, I have more fun surprises. So I need everybody to come back and do the things because we're going to get through this somehow.
We have to come back.
Because we have to, because accountability, because I can't let that window of miserism in my head close, right? So everybody, I gotta go take my dogs out. And I know you just caught the end, Blanca. We gotta catch up soon. I'm excited. It is the countdown to ANME. So whoever's going or not going, let us know.
I'll be at that one too.
Okay,
Callie,
we'll get things
we go.
together. Yeah. All right, guys. Miss you all. See you soon. See you next Tuesday.